Good morning, class. Today's lesson is a very interesting lesson, and it's one of the classic story from the Western civilization, or like from Western countries. Okay, but the name of the lesson is Alice in Wonderland. Have you ever heard of Alice in Wonderland? Alice in Wonderland. Alice is the name of a girl, okay? In Wonderland. In Wonderland means it's kind of a fantasy world, and is uh, this is a small portion of this is a small portion from the novel Alice in Wonderland, but today we are going to learn a small part of that section from the novel. Okay, it was written by Lewis Carroll. It is a very famous story, and when you grow older and when you go to college, and if you take any English classes, you might come across this novel again because it's one of the most famous and it's an icon. They have made many films regarding this. Maybe you have watched it. If you haven't watched the movie, I recommend that you watch the movie. Okay, it's quite good. So today we are going to learn about Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland he lekabo lalutuk Lewis Carroll asi anita chutami claim te chu section claim te anon katla tirle ege abula changa ege small section no te chu anon katla in jernan interesting emani Alice in Wonderland he afri mang ponan siyama mo turo mga Alice in Wonderland di pong cartoon ang tapuno mga tamtakina nakina in panchuan indo enanga mo TV ate internet YouTube ate po Alice in Wonderland di wala aron lang mo yan. So this is a story about a girl and her adventure. Okay, my adventure. It's kind of a dreamland. It's kind of a dreamland or a fantasy world, and there are lots of characters there, and it's a very interesting story. Okay, so let us start reading the story, and I will be explaining the sentences. Okay, Alice in Wonderland. This is from your textbook, page 66. So here it goes. One day, Alice was lying under a tree, listening to her sister reading a story. Okay, whenever we read a story, I want you to imagine it in your head. I want you to see the picture. I want you to paint the picture in your mind. Kan rengin amitha angin amo ilong mo intum donani. Film angin amo cartoon angin amo. You have to try to imagine. Okay. One day Alice was lying under a tree, listening. Okay, first. One day di ni khatsuti na ni kan traffic nga. Alice was lying under a tree. Was lying at the mo abok mo. Alice was lying under a tree, listening to her sister reading a story. Now, what is she doing? She is lying under a tree and listening to her sister. That means her sister was reading a story and she was listening while lying down under a tree. Okay, now I hope you can imagine the scenario. I hope you can make a mental picture of what we are reading. In mitlathiam ka pui mo em chuba ka a sentence in Sharon Khan. That's how you're going to learn the English. Okay, malai chun fli mangte omlawa alem mutu te wanga amai ro chu unlai ang nilawa lekabu ang chang hian tam takin they went to another land. No, they went to another world through books. Lekabu cheer and cheer chang kanin mundangan kalchin ni thilan shet phathin ni chuba ka thil cheer nem hi findan shim shima English Jordan pura tra em ni chu in cheer tem tur ni in lesson main lo the article ang chi te magazine mo comics tal po apoi lo cheer nem shim ka tra. Oh, so I encourage you to read as much as possible so that you may improve your English. Suddenly, she saw a white rabbit scamper by. Scamper. Like she saw a white rabbit scamper by. Scamper by the Joron Kalzoim or on Amit Khanin Tolekata Suzupui kan don rabbit timela rabbit afmone. He had pink eyes and was wearing a blue coat. A rabbit mo kadang dayem coat suit ang chi pola ha chuanin amit po a pink kani amit pink te chu rabbit te chu pink tlang puya amai ro chu amak na chu coat pola ha ni see the pictures here. A few minutes and chuan he ai siang zokin le he ai munam zokin chatheng. Okay, he took out a big watch from his waistcoat pocket. He took out a big watch from his waistcoat pocket, and as he hurried away, he said, "Oh dear, I will be too late." He took out a big watch. Watch ti chu sana niya amay ro chu man la hianin pocket a hianin sanang chi hetia cover te ne thina khatiang kha pocket watch ang chi kha an pai thina ni banan bun ngai lo mo chain in an thlungan mani waistcoat a ten da ta kha an mani fashion ren ne man lai. He took out a big watch from his waistcoat pocket, and as he hurried away, hurried he past tense of hurry ti chu pan mo. As he hurried away, pan mo ta kakal pa chuanin, "Oh dear, I will be too late." Katlai lu tukang oh dear tiani. She thought there was something very different about this rabbit. She thought, right, there was something very different about this rabbit. Here rabbit a hen dang nam da tak inga mo. Thila putlat mai ne nang ni polin siang enga dang nam na. Asabera atong thea patina koda ha sanate en thiama. It looks like a very intelligent being, and this is not common, right? You don't see this very often in the real world. Kovela heti muturan vang rio wang mo. She thought there was something very different about this rabbit. It could talk. It wore a red waistcoat. No, it wore a red waistcoat. Waistcoat as in waistcoat can teach a coat no yan half chinaka. Look at the picture. This is the waistcoat, okay? Coat polo ha waistcoat sanala ha chutakara ala trong thri bogani. John sanala keng zui. Makta kanitro. Alice wondered, wondered, WANDER, he wondered, ti tho ne mo. WONDER, ti chu wondered, ti kan tu na kan ti chu ngai tua na. Ngai tua na, ngai tua kan tiang chi kan. Alice wondered. Alice, WANDERED. Alice wondered, WA đâu ni tang sen. Alice wondered, ti tho tu ne mai ro chu a meaning adang de. Oh, WANDERED ni chuanin kalkwal mo vakwal kal khatia anga pun khata changa pun danga kalna ang chi ka wonder mo. Alice wondered, WONDER ni chuanin ngai to. A talking rabbit, a rabbit who wears a waistcoat. Makati ni aril ru chuan aril ru mak. Alice wondered angai to leta sazupui rabbit chong thei le waistcoat rabbit waistcoat ha mo an han mu makati me mani. Alice was burning with curiosity and she followed the white rabbit. Alice was burning with curiosity. Okay, in English you should know that there are some, when they use word, it doesn't have to be literal. Okay, literal kan ti chu thil tak tak soina and tinanin. When you say Alice was burning with curiosity, Alice was burning kan ti Alice ka lo tinanin lawa burning mo burn at burning. Alice was burning with curiosity. The burning with curiosity. So curiosity ti kan so fiap tang apa sign. Makti na. No. Shit si intrigue deu till so intriguing deu so na inting ate curious makti na anime kami lo trong chan amai so she was burning with curiosity in the English trong a chanin makti le shit bil chakin omti na she was burning with curiosity. He English ho sak ve na nia metaphor and tin ti metaphor literal meaning nilo nia metaphor ti so till englo metaphor a chuanin till and then till I o ang chia an soyamo engamo literal meaning nilo mo literal meaning kan ti chu till tak tak kan soy ang was burning with curiosity. He literally donitang saying literally ni sun ama ka allo don ni curiosity in al don ti na ni ama ro ta hianin I shet to chu sabrongan cherian. Alice was burning with curiosity kan ti kanin asoy tum tak zo ko chu ama kanin nasat takin shet bel chakin makti na ina khata and chuwang chuanin and she followed the white rabbit. Kami rabbit ka azui tani mo azui root mela or azui tani and she followed the white rabbit. Okay, kaka, that is the first page. Okay, let us look at the sentence and read out once all together. Okay, Alice in Wonderland. One day Alice was lying under a tree listening to her sister reading a story. Suddenly, she saw a white rabbit scamper by. He had pink eyes and was wearing a blue coat. He took out a big watch from his waistcoat pocket, and as he hurried away, he said, "Oh dear, I will be too late." She thought there was something very different about this rabbit. It could talk, it wore a red waistcoat, and it carried a watch. Alice wondered, a talking rabbit? A rabbit who wears a waistcoat? Alice was burning with curiosity and she followed the white rabbit. Okay, that is how you're supposed to read. Okay, now that is going to be also your homework, because I want you to read the first page and submit your it will be like your assignment, and you have to read the first page. Now before I give you any homework, I will try to read it once more at the end of after explaining the whole story for your assignment. Okay, but right now we are just going to do the explanation. Okay, next page. The rabbit started running, and Alice followed the rabbit. So what happened was the rabbit started running. Sazupuyaka tlan chanta tlan tavakta tlai hlau khan mo tlai hlau lu tuk kha tlan tavakta chon Alice po khanin azu izel tinani. The rabbit suddenly popped down a large rabbit hole. Popped down. The rabbit suddenly popped down a large rabbit hole. A rabbit hole anti chu khami susupui kwa mo lian puya hian he popped down. Pop ti chu tia tiang ron azwang lut tila afia ome. The rabbit suddenly popped down a large rabbit hole. Alice jumped into the rabbit hole too. Alice pohon zui zel ni. Kami rabbit hole ahan. A rabbit hole ahan akal ti khan Alice khanin azuk zui zela ani pohat la thawe. The rabbit went down and down and down and down into the rabbit hole. Alice said loudly, "Where am I? How many miles down have I fallen?" Rabbit hole Alice said loudly, Alice ring the "Where am I? How many miles down have I fallen?" Melin zange ka tlak to atiani atlari ti toldu. I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. Katlatar boxi achuban swanin khovel lai lampang khovel lai mu katla ivyo to angatiani more to the center of the earth. She wondered. She wondered. She wondered. Will I slip through the earth to the other side? Thump. This thump is like when you land on something. Itatha iri rithumdut kan tiang chi khamo mizo tongchon ari thumdut atlari thumdut kan tiang chi kami kha sap tongchon thump mo ari ang chi kha an soifian an khan thump an mangani thump. Alice landed on a pile of dry leaves. Nimro to hianin a land atatha amo land ti hi hey so hin po airport a land trin hi read a boroko to a layer tlak they call it land. Okay, landing. So Alice landed on a pile of dry leaves. On a pile of dry leaves. Hey, pile of dry leaves. See here, this is the collective noun. Okay, dry leaves. They call it pile of dry leaves. Alice landed on a pile of dry leaves. She looked around quickly and suddenly saw the white rabbit again. Kami na arwa anhan landing na inu kanin aluk in ka anu kanin rang takin na hoy ko ala chuanin She looked around quickly and suddenly. So quickly to le suddenly dang dei ne. Quickly ti chu rang takin ne. Suddenly ti chu thok le khata mo. So thok le khata na hoi kwal vata. And saw the white rabbit again. Rabbit the khak le tani. It disappeared. He bow mu thei lo mo. A bow tani. Saying, "Oh my ears and whiskers, oh my ears at it so bang and whiskers, whiskers did so kami apui mul gan di dona mi apui changa kami mul say the soka that those are called whiskers. Zote te purandia, we te purandia, and such on the chin the whiskers. How late it's getting? How late it's getting? So then, Zibana joining. Suzubika abo ma khanin ama ka mo thelo ma khan oh my ears and whiskers at he ama expression, it's kind of an expression oh aba pui em kan tiang che oi kanu ten tiang than khat chon ra mi lawa chon ka tiang tiran anun ko na tak tak ni lo mai ro chu kha tiang a he an lau thong tu ka an han sai chong chi kha that is it's kind of an expression, okay? In express the tour, engamo till in express the tour can in words and such in can it put the net so without translation or you can do that it and look down mo engamo engamo till cheng tu dang a chi de put lock ang a chi de mo katiang khanin sakrunga po hianin in express na tamdakan ne repeat po hianin heta hen in express dinani oh my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting. An tlai to em awa han tlai to em ati ne man mo view ni. Alice stood up and saw a small door. Alice stood up and saw a small door about 15-inch high. Alice chu adinga chuan enge pu kan ti chuan and saw a small door kong khak te 15-inch high 15-inch mo fit khatle inches thum ti na ni chin she thiam dan chuan fit khat kan ti chu in scale lian kami ang chi han ta ate ni it was too small for her to go through. It was too small for her to go through. Through ama kaltlang na tunin na tel to ka. She saw a glass table with a golden. She saw a glass table with a golden key on it. Okay, so she saw a glass table, more table, glasses here, theme, with a golden key. Glass akhanin, a golden key, amoa. She tried the little golden key in the lock, and to her delight, it fitted. She tried the little gold key. Kami gold key amoka. She tried the little gold key in the lock, and to her delight, it fitted. It fitted. Fit. Fitted. Alice opened the door and looked into the loveliest garden she had ever seen. Alice kanin kong khar hong khan and looked into the loveliest garden she had ever seen. How she longed to be among those beds of bright flowers and those cool fountains. Kami pangpar moi tak le fountain is tuiran chuana ang chi mo thil an siam ang chi kha khating ho tibula khat sak ema she longed to be among an mani zinga che she longed to how she longed to be among those bed of bright flowers and those cool fountains. But she could not even get her head through the doorway. Amay so alu po kaling lo shum shum ni kong khara kan ava en kana puteni. Oh, I wish I could become smaller, she exclaimed loudly. Exclamation point hi hemi hi exclamate. Exclamation na sari so vak ang chi mo word was ang chi that is called exclamation or exclamatory sentence. Okay. Oh, I wish I could become smaller. I wish the wish to in siya till low keng seng kan ti ang chi that is called wish. Okay. So oh, I wish I could become smaller, she exclaimed loudly. This is adapted from Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Okay. So it is a very interesting story, and if you have time, I recommend that you watch the movies from YouTube or from the internet. Okay, you just search from Google Alice in Wonderland, and there will be you might have to search a little bit for a good link, but maybe you can find it in YouTube also if you can try. And I know that in cables also they used to give, in HBO or in some movies they used to give the film. Okay, I've seen it before, and it's a very interesting and very a very good film, very entertaining film. And if you watch the movie, you'll be able to imagine it more clearly, and I think that would help you a lot for this lesson. Okay, so for your assignment, the first page will be your assignment reading practice. Okay, practicing your reading, and all these marks are going to be collected for your end term or for your internal marks. Okay, I am going to collect and I'm going to write. If you don't submit your assignment, you won't be getting any marks. So you have to submit your assignment. If not, you might fail at the end. So you have to be careful and make sure that you do your assignment, whichever teacher is telling you to do. Okay, this is how you're going to read. Okay, listen to the words and the rhymes and the tune that I'm using. In Sherkanin ka words man ang chite, kathuk na ang chite, achansu hemi preposition full stop kan tite, comma kan tite le stress bi kan ni chine ni English kan share chuan kan stress lai bi ka te kha ngai tha ula chuanin in lo practice lo ne tunen ka share do nangun dakin lo ngai tha nga ka share ang khan nakina ka share ang kha tuna a pronunciation te non ti diklo chon ma ke putlem don ne achan chu ka te na tur chu pause huna in pausem ti fan huna in ti famem ti fan huna ti fan turania oki san huna san turania mo chuanin chiarang no tuklo tu ne chiar mong tu lo tu ni omze nei ta ka chiar tum turani. Okay, so you have to practice reading the hi classroom chu ni sang chu kan chiar rola ka chiar join chiar nga ai in zirtia thenga amar chu tu na chuanin he video ang ten kan siama video hi in rewind non nga ti khan in chiar line khatte te ang chi te in han ngai thanga in pause nga khati ang khan ka chiar zo in ngai thanga ka thil chiar kha in pause nga chon nang man in chiar vele nga ti khan in zir don ni. Okay, I hope you're ready now. Let's begin. Alice in Wonderland. Okay, Alice in Wonderland. You will read it like this. Let's start. Alice in Wonderland. One day, Alice was lying under a tree listening to her sister reading a story. Suddenly, she saw a white rabbit scamper by. He had pink eyes and was wearing a blue coat. He took out a big watch from his waistcoat pocket, and as he hurried away, he said, "Oh dear, I will be too late." She thought there was something very different about this rabbit. It could talk, it wore a red waistcoat, and it carried a watch. Alice wondered, a talking rabbit? A rabbit who wears a waistcoat? Alice was burning with curiosity and she followed the white rabbit. Okay, thank you. That was how you're going to read the first page. Okay? Now, if you are not clear in chiang lawa mo, it's your nandur karon tilang toa. Kalay te ka in rewind don ni. A timing a kain chin chiang a video kan kalay trang kan kan share trang kan. So you're going to listen very carefully, because you are also learning English at chuanin listening te speaking te writing te poi mo em ani chuan chuan khati anga video in ngai thla kan listening skills. You're developing your listening skills. Okay, in ngai thla na skill kha in develop ani chumi zo no reading skills in zirle ta ni mo khabi in treat in beng in a share ta chang khanin dang manin I share in zirle a. Okay, that is the exercise and the motive of your assignment in Lao Chia Thiam Naturin. Okay, I don't want you to read like, one day Alice was lying under a tree listening to her sister reading a story, because that is not how you're supposed to read. If you read it like that, you won't be getting much mark. Okay, mark my words. So you have to read like, one day Alice was laying under a tree listening to her sister reading a story. Okay, so there must be a flow and there must be some like it should not be a monotone. Okay, monotone means tone khat cho khatianga cherang chi classroom cher bulbulang chi ka khatianga ti lo turani shamina. Oh, you have to practice the correct way of reading. I hope I'm clear, and if you have any problem, please do contact me. Okay, thank you.